Welcome back everyone to Showbiz India Celebrity Profile, and today it's my privilege to welcome Vidhu Vinod Chopra, prolific filmmaker, to Los Angeles and to Showbiz India. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very layered film. Tell me, how did you come up with the subject?
See, I started actually, me and Abhijat Joshi, my co-writer, we were traveling in a train from New York to Boston. There was a screening of Eklavya, the Royal Guard, the last film I directed like 7 years back. And we had both seen Martin Scorsese's Departed the same evening in New York. And both of us were talking about the original Korean film, and we both thought that we both liked the Korean film more. And then Abhijat came with this idea that, what about Parinda? And Parinda was a film that, as you know, is a cult film in India, but I did it like, God knows, 20 years back. And so it was actually, we started adapting Parinda. That's how it started, this long journey to Broken Horses. Then, of course, it was based in New York originally, because Parinda was based in Mumbai. And then I went to New York with Abhijat, and I realized I don't know the city at all. In the middle of the night, I told him, listen, I can't make this film because we'll make a fool of ourselves. I don't know the city. I have to live here at least for a year or two before I make a film in New York. And we said, okay, let's not do it. And the next morning, I thought of primarily basic elements like water, earth, wind, fire. And if you see Broken Horses, it has all those elements. Elements that I know of, elements that are universal, that in India, here, everywhere. And that is how then I adapted the whole film. That's how the film became very, very different from Parinda. But that was the takeoff point.
I was very happy during this movie. And I think it's because I was directed. I haven't been directed in a long time.
So that you know, I will come behind you to take the shots of you and the candle.
I read somewhere that you were quite thrilled that you went to an Indian Hindi medium school, and now you've actually done a film, written, directed and produced a film in Hollywood. What a feeling is that?
You know, I can't even explain it. And it's also, it happens to be the first time anybody's ever written, produced and directed a film in Hollywood. So I was told, and I couldn't believe. I said, really? They said, yes, people have directed, but not written, directed and produced. So it's a good feeling. It's also a good feeling because where I come from, I mean, I learned ABC when I was 16 years old. I was fortunate enough to be nominated for an Oscar in '79 when I was just a kid,
that's right.
Really a kid. And so it's been a long journey, very satisfying and very happy, really, very, very happy that, and finally the way people are reacting to Broken Horses. You know, I had a critic in New York call me, Josh from IndieWire. He said, you know, I see a lot of movies, one movie a day or two movies. I haven't seen anything new in years, and this was something new. So I think what he, and I asked him, I said, what is new? And I think what is new is the fact that I come from a different culture. My heart belongs to India. I'm really an Indian from top. I mean, I am an Indian filmmaker, an Indian man, and a man from that culture has written, produced and directed, and mostly Abhijat and me, because we wrote it together. I think what is new is that culturally the film really is from where we are. So it's like an interesting hybrid.
And speaking of people raving about your film, how does it feel that James Cameron has been raving about it?
It feels very good. Actually, it's very, very kind of him. He was one of the first people to see the film. And there was a big theater. He was right, he sits in the first row, which in India we call the third class. And I was in balcony, right at the back making my notes. And even when the film ended, it was still dark, he started clapping. And I was wondering who's clapping, can't be James Cameron. And he actually came clapping all the way till at the back, and then hugged me and praised a hell of a lot. And that for me was a great feeling because he was one of the first to see the film. So I realized that I haven't made crap.
Of course not. I don't think you ever have, by the way.
I know, but you never know. Particularly this one was a big challenge also, Reshma, that if I made something really terrible, it would bring a lot of shame to the whole community here. I mean, and now you can take your friends, you can take your American friends and say, guys, come and see this.
With pride.
With pride.
Absolutely.
Right. And if I had, screwed up, that would be terrible because, so it wasn't just me. That was the challenge. It wasn't just me. It was really my country and my people that I wanted to represent in this.
Hands! Hands! Go hands! Okay, we got it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Now, your film has, I just noticed, that has a lot of brotherhood, camaraderie, and these are films, even Munnabai, MBBS, Three Idiots, all your films have that element of brotherhood.
Yeah.
Do you have such friends in your real life?
Yeah, my brother Veer is very close to me. You just met Shelley, my sister, who's here taking care of me. And the interesting story is I was mixing in London, in Shepperton Studio, and Shelley used to come every week to take care of me. And my mixer asked her, "Where do you live?" And she said, "Michigan." And he said, "Where is Michigan?" I said, "You don't know where it is, David?" And she said, "It's in America." And she said, "You fly from US every weekend to take care of him and do his laundry?" And I said, "Yeah, that is what family is all about." So yeah, my family is very, very close. Family comes first for me. And I think it reflects in my movies.
Now, in this particular movie, what was perhaps some of the most challenging parts of this movie? I know it took 5 years in the making.
I think writing was a big challenge because I was writing in a foreign language. Abhijat Joshi was great help, but both of us, he's from Gujarat, I'm from Kashmir, and I'm writing, imagine a movie which is based in Mexican border. So it's like, there's nothing, it's far away from my comfort zone. Alfonso Cuarón, who saw the film and praised it, said that was his first thing. He said, he'd seen 1942, A Love Story. And he thought that was one of the best musicals he had seen. He says, "How did you make this transition?" And I said, it was just, if you look at it, I think it's just, I'm crazy. No. I have to be crazy after Three Idiots, to take 5 years and make Broken Horses. I mean, we spent $20 million making this movie and we believe in this film and here it is, but why wouldn't I just do 4 Idiots and then 5 and 6 and 7 and keep going on and on. It's just, I think it's the madness that cinema brings in me is very welcome. I like that.
And now you have tasted success in a way that most people have not. You have the unique distinction of tasting success both box office and in your critically acclaimed. What is your definition of success and failure?
For me, success and failure is really within you. It's like I always tell other students of cinema, I talk of Van Gogh. I said, was he a failure or was he a success? Because he never sold a single painting in his life. And that is a critical question. For me, Broken Horses is a huge success. It releases on 10th April, as you know. It does 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, 0 million. But for me, it's a success story because where I've come from and what I have achieved, what I've done with Abhijat and the whole crew is for me incredible. So that's it. So I think success and failure for people who look at outside of them, that is a very dangerous thing. That means you can make something that's absolute rubbish and it becomes successful and therefore you say it's validated. So for me, when I see any film, whether it's Three Idiots, it's PK, it's Parinita, it's Parinda, it's 1942, A Love Story, whatever I've done, I think the success and failure for me really is, what do I think about this movie? Have I been able to do something that I started off? And have I been able to push the envelope? Have I been able to do something that I'd never done before?
What a beautiful way to put that.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, absolutely, and it emanates,
Yeah.
So
in Three Idiots, I said it. I said, chase excellence, success will follow. Kabil bano, kamyabi aapke kadam chumengi. So that's the idea. That I live that. I live that.
So just curious to know, all the names of the films you've mentioned, they're all my favorites. You've really a fantastic filmmaker. Who are some of the filmmakers you have looked up to?
Well, in India, Gurudutt, Bimal Roy, K. Asif, Mughal-e-Azam, and Mehboob Khan, Shantaram, early Raj Kapoor. These clearly are the people there. And then outside of India, there's Federico Fellini, there is Jean-Luc Godard, there's Francois Truffaut, there's Francis Ford Coppola from here, there's Sergio Leone, who this film is a tribute to him. and John Ford. So it's very interesting. It's a hybrid. That's what I like about who I am. I was speaking with some people yesterday, Brian Grazer, who makes movies here, and I was talking to him about how he says how different, because of this hybrid kind of growing up. I mean, I grew up in Kashmir in a small village, and I only saw Hindi movies. I'd not seen great cinema till I went to film school. I didn't even know who Shakespeare was till I remember Ritvik Ghatak said Hamlet, and I said, who's Hamlet? And he thought I was joking. I was in the film school. But I really did not have the privilege to study Shakespeare. Incredible. So for me, I think that reflects in my movies. So there are these makers. I mean, imagine in my head to have K. Asif and Mehboob Khan, and then have Federico Fellini and Antonioni.
It's quite
it's quite
difference.
Crazy,
yeah. What can we look forward to in the future?
I don't know. I'll keep pushing myself. That I can tell you for sure. There are some studios that want me to now make more films here after seeing Broken Horses. I might do it if it's a challenge. If it's not a challenge, I won't do it. That's for sure. I don't think I will make a movie knowing that this is a mediocre movie that's going to make money for me. I never will do that. I will always knowingly chase excellence, and I believe that I will succeed.
Absolutely. Fantastic speaking to you.
Thank
we
you.
wish you continued success.
Thank you so much.